So it's here, the CSL Pro for PlayStation 5 direct drive wheel. We knew it was coming, well I knew it was coming, I'll tell you why exactly I knew it was coming, but I didn't actually think it was going to get here until next year. Now to save you guys time, get you up to speed with everything you need to know, in this video we're going to talk about the history and how this thing's kind of come to be quickly. I'm going to go into my plan, what I'm going to get, so you know exactly what someone actually on the other end of making this video is doing with their money, and it might help you understand what to do with your money as well. We'll then jump into what I will say to others to wrap the video up as well, to really emphasize and lock in the point whether or not you know you should spend your hard-earned money. Maybe you just want to make sure of that, or maybe I might say something that'll change your mind with it. So let's jump into it. So I didn't think it was going to actually get here until next year, but here it is, launch Black Friday with an availability to get it. If you pay a bit extra money, you'll go into all the options with it as well, to get it before Christmas. So there's 4 different options. The difference between this one, the Xbox version already released, is about $20. So it's launching at, if you just want the pedals, the base and the wheel together, baseline for 5 Newton meters, which I wouldn't recommend, first of all, but we'll get to why that is. That's going to be $700 US. We then have, if you want the boost kit added in, it's going to boost it to $850 US. If you want the load cell on your pedals as well, that's going to take it to $970, plus you can pay $40 to get the clutch added. Now, I would recommend everyone have 3 pedal sets if you can, which means this thing's just going to break over the $1,000 US mark, $1,010. Now, that's without delivery, so probably $1,050 by the time you get the full version of this thing delivered to your door. Now, we'll go into a lot of details soon on the computer, but it's going to be released March next year, but you need to pre-order this thing in 25 hours by the time this video goes live. So if you want to keep up to date with things like this that get released and get knowledge early, if you've watched it beyond Black Friday and you accidentally missed out on the first round of pre-orders, which is probably going to happen for anyone that doesn't come across this within the next 25 hours, and make sure you stay subscribed as well. So released March 2022, and funnily enough, on purpose, with a part of PlayStation playing a pivotal role here, March 2022, if there's no delays, is when Gran Turismo 7 launches. What a coincidence. So before we go into all the details on the computer and break things down properly, let's go over my plan to get you up to speed, and maybe that's all you need to hear. I am going to buy probably one of the middle 2 versions. Now what that means is either one of these versions does have the boost kit. And the reason why I'm doing this is because most direct drive wheels, there's 2 reasons, and I'll talk about this in the video, why you'd want a direct drive wheel. One is for more detail in your game, which is what every sim racer wants. You can't have enough of that. Second is the power and the strength of it, which goes hand in hand. You can't get a great driving experience without the wheel being heavy and forceful enough to make it feel like you're wrestling a real race car. So 8 Newton meters is just into the realm where I think every direct drive should kind of have the potential to be. So Sim Magic, for example, I've used one for a couple of days on 10 Newton meters. Now, some people don't really like the 10 Newton meters. Going above that, you're guaranteed, if you do a half an hour to an hour race, you're going to get very, very tired arms. So going above 15, 20 Newton meters is going to kill your arms, just for an example. 10 Newton meters, 8 and 10, I feel like is a sweet spot. And considering you only have to pay, $100 to $150, depending if you're in the US or Australia, price is slightly different and we get taken to school here. But either way, that extra little money to fork out for to get into that stronger range of force, I think is really valuable. And you can always joke around with friends and crank it up to full and get them to hold on to it. So you can always upgrade in the future. Don't be worried if you've come across this video and you've already bought the cheaper version. So now I'm going to jump on the computer, go over all the details, as much detail as we can, and also talk about all the Australian prices and really go into detail about why I'm getting one of those 2 options. The other version is if I wanted the load cell pedals, but I do have Fanatec V3s. They're not going to be as good as Fanatec V3s, but having that extra pedal set there could be worthwhile. I mean, you have to get the pedals anyway, so all you have to do is add the load cell kit with it, which is about $120 to get this load cell kit. So it's completely up to you whether or not you need the pedals. If you don't need the pedals, then I'll just go for the second version with the boost kit if you're upgrading to a direct drive. If you don't need the wheel or pedals at all and are willing to wait a little bit, then make sure you wait to see the other option you can do. Okay, we've got all these things up. So we'll break down the CSL properly. So they've just announced it. Now, everyone, first thing you want to know is the date. So if we scroll down to the bottom, I've already had a look here. One thing is that people have been complaining, I guess you would call it, that they're not bringing out the standalone base. Right at the bottom, sneakily, they've said it's coming soon. The people that are interested in that. For me, it's not worth waiting for though, because I need a wheel anyway, so I may as well get an oval one, as well as buy like a Formula V2, like the Formula wheel, because they're all the same ecosystem, and I can just quick release change them out from this. This will be coming, but this won't be, you won't be able to get a hold of these, or if you miss the first round of pre-orders here, we won't be able to get these until more than March next year. And that is because, here's a couple of options. We'll talk about the options really soon. Pre-orders open in 30 hours. Pre-order on November 26th for March 2022 delivery. So their first round of pre-orders, I am very, very certain will sell out, because they did that on the CSL, the Xbox version, the normal one. So this is gonna sell out first round. March 2022 delivery. They'll probably take pre-orders again in Feb, I would say. Give or take, earlier or later, it doesn't matter, but they'll deliver these first before anyone else that orders future time, or if they are waiting to buy the standalone wheelbase, because their whole game, this is really packaged nicely from a company point of view, right? So this whole thing, big release, they've marketed it great. We kind of knew it was coming. State-of-the-art tech. No one's doing direct drive wheels for console. Now, if we pay attention to the release time as well, where do we say it? So for March 2022 delivery, if we look at Gran Turismo 7, the whole big theme here, it's literally on the box, Fanatec, Gran Turismo branded. They would have had big contracts going on Gran Turismo and PlayStation themselves, which is the only way they could do it, because these are a bit different to the normal Xbox boxes. You actually need the special chip in for PlayStations. Available for pre-orders just before Christmas. It's actually sold out. You can whack one of them on for $560. No one does Formula wheels for $560. Onto your DD Pro. Now, the big pinpoint here that I was getting to before we discuss the wheels, March 2022 delivery. So everyone will have it probably March or just before. You would not want it as a company, say March, especially with all the delays every other company in the world is having with the semiconductors and stuff, and it not rock up to April or May. You're going to really piss people off. So they're pretty confident with that, to be able to put that on their website. But look at this, Gran Turismo 7, release date 4th of March. That has been done absolutely on purpose. And PlayStation are also working this in their advantage, because they really need to come at Xbox because of when they bought out Bethesda. So this went down 11th of March, $7.5 billion. Every Bethesda game, which is a massive game company, onto their Game Pass. They're trying to kind of school PlayStation that way. PlayStation are coming back at them, work with Fanatec, with products like this. And there also is word that Gran Turismo 7 is coming to computer. So, first one. And we'll talk about what package I think everyone should get. So, we have the Gran Turismo 5 Newton meters. Now, this is only if, I would say, for people that want to get in, this is right at the top of their budget. They don't have any more money to spend, because I think the other options are better. Desk lamp, you could probably use the 5 Newton meters, but man, when I first started, I had this TX. It is not good on the desk. It comes off. Now that does look heavy duty. I'll give them that. You can see that, like, that desk lamp, it's got two pinch points either side, and it looks pretty heavy duty. This whole situation here really, really grabs on. So now the best offer. Which one do I think is the best offer? The second one comes with the 8 Newton meter boost kit. So you're looking at $250 for the boost kit. Now you can buy that on their website, but it's about $250. So there's no real discount here at all. They just put it in a package for you. All of a sudden, $850 is really what you want to be buying right here. You have to pay for the wheel add-on and the pedals, because they're not selling it individually yet. So if you want to wait for that, you wait for that until next year, but you're not going to get it until probably April, I would say, as my guess. May, sorry. So this is more so what the wheel costs. This package is about $850. Now, then you can go for an extra $120 US, you get the load cell kit upgrade. Now, load cell kit is the number one thing that will increase your lap time. The whole process of you feeling the pressure difference in the wheel is huge. Sorry, in the pedal. So this, it's either the middle one or this one. Now, if you got a kid that you're buying it for, child, you need a Christmas present and you need it before Christmas, you're paying $250 extra. Oh no, it's $150. You're paying $150, and this is only $150 as well, sorry, stuff that up. $150 extra to get it delivered timely, and that is it. To get the first run of the mill. Now, there's no point, I mean, just wait a couple extra months, you know, unless you don't have any Christmas present ideas. So we're not really looking at the one on the right, we're looking at these 3 middle ones. Narrowing it down to the 2 middle ones because the without the load cell and without the boost kit is kind of a budget way to get into it, but it's definitely something that you would upgrade to. So the wheel itself is 1,000 Australian dollars already, the base one. Now we've got 850 and 970, right? So 850, this is with the boost kit. $1,200 by the time you get it delivered. And 970, $1,350. Let's round it up to $1,400. Now, $1,400 is not bad. Like really, like it's we get stitched up when it comes to these. Anything the US gets, just whack a tax on it, and a monster tax, because we always get hit so hard, especially vehicles and stuff like that. What's a Mustang in America? 35, 40,000. You can't get them for cheaper than 70,000 drive away here. So that's how it is. But considering you get the box, you get the wheel, which the wheel itself would be $500 if you're going to buy the wheel brand new, right? So $500 here. So I want to hear what you guys think, but that's my breakdown and my approach with it. I think it is great value for money. If you are someone that plans to have a PlayStation 5 and get Gran Turismo 7. Word on the street is that Gran Turismo 7 will be coming to PC, but if it follows anything like the Horizon Zero Dawn series, you won't get it for another year minimum by the time they let the sales go with PlayStation, then port it over to PC. It'll work great, but like I said, you won't get it for a long time. So going on with the extra details there and wrapping up the video of what I would recommend other people do depending on what situation you're in. You've got your table clamp, pedals, and wheel. Table clamp, it can fit between 5 and 60 mil. So first of all, if you're jamming it onto a table that's more than 60 mil, it's not going to fit first of all, so that might answer the question for you. It'll get the job done until you get a rig set up, but don't underestimate having a proper aluminum profile rig. Yes, they are $1,000. They'll set you back as much as a wheel will, but the less flex you have, the better you can feel the wheel forces anyway. So keep that in mind. If you're going to run it on the desk, do it at 5 Newton meters, especially if you're short on cash. Upgrade to the boost kit later when you get a proper frame setup would be my recommendation, so you don't bounce your computer around or monitors that are sitting on the screen. Sorry, on the table. A couple other fine little details that were kind of overlooked, I think, and not mentioned so far is this wheel is quite cool. So it's all this Fanatec equipment is going to operate off the RJ12. So everything works that if you've got Fanatec stuff is going to work with this new ecosystem that they've got. So my V3 is going to plug straight in. If you've got the Formula V2 wheel, etc., which I'll probably upgrade to as well, you can quick release and change them out as well. So it's really cool. This wheel actually has 11 buttons, which will map to PlayStations really well, but it also has 4 thumbsticks. Now, everyone's played a controller console before, right? And you got your thumbstick up, down, left, right, and you can click it in. So 5 ways that it moves or functions. And it has 4 of these buttons, like a singular button that can have many controls attached to it is pretty impressive. Now, what would I recommend to everyone? There's a couple of different situations and I'll fly through them because hopefully the people on the other side of the screen right now, one of these situations will be exactly what you're in, and I can answer the question that maybe you would like answered. So if you are a parent and you want this thing by Christmas because you don't have Christmas presents sorted out, the first of the first to get your hands on this, it's not going to be any different to the Xbox version. So they're already out there. You have to pre-order them as well. You want the PlayStation version, you have a PlayStation 5, or you're going to get one in the future. You want it now. You don't need the 8 Newton meters yet. Like for instance, maybe you're putting it on the table and you don't want that much force because you're going to knock stuff over. You can pre-order this. You're going to pay a premium. I think it's $130 extra, $150 to get this thing delivered to your door by Christmas. So it is an option. I wouldn't really recommend it. The second person that might be watching this is someone that already has a Fanatec wheel and pedals, and they just had, like me, I've got a Thrustmaster TX. You can see over there, Thrustmaster TX. I've been waiting for a wheel upgrade. I've already got Fanatec V3s, so I don't need anything other than a wheel upgrade. And this is interesting because if you want it without the pedals and without just the box itself, it'll be $20 US is my guess, more, and that's because the pedals are already available to purchase separately on their website. They come in at $80 US. It's $100 more than the Xbox One, so you do the math, and it's about $20 extra to get the PlayStation compatibility in this box here. If you don't care about that, you're going to have to wait till May next year or April next year. And why is that? I'm pretty certain that these first round of pre-orders are going to sell out, and then that's to be, if you don't pay for the extra to get delivered by Christmas, you're waiting till March, which is when Gran Turismo launches. Probably a requirement from PlayStation, even if they have enough stock. I would say there's a lot of contracts in the works here. If you want just the box, you're going to have to wait till March or April next year because you have to wait till round 2 of the pre-orders, is my guess in how they would probably go around their delivery process. Because you're not going to be able to, like, they're not going to release this box and you be able to get it quicker than everyone else in March if they've done the first round of pre-orders with the rest of the kit. So they want to try and make the most profit they can by selling it a kit, because they make a small profit on every item. So there's 3 or 4 items here. Obviously, people are going to pay for upgrades and things. They make more money. They're marketing this really well. So they're selling it the kit. If you want the rest of the box, you're going to have to wait. Hopefully, they get people to buy the full kit when they didn't really need it, is their game plan here. So you're probably looking at March or April next year if you just want the box. Then it goes into the ones that are like me. I actually, funnily enough, do need the wheel because my Thrustmaster one won't work on it. I actually have 2. I have the TX Alcantara upgrade and the normal TX or T300. That's a Thrustmaster box. The only thing that I can keep from my setup here is my frame and my V3, so they can plug right in. I don't really need the pedals, but the wheel will be a nice help to have that oval wheel, and then I'll upgrade to the Formula V2 wheel as well. I'll get one of them coming down the road next year when they're available to order as well. So what I'd say to others is I would recommend, out of the 4 options, you've got the 5 Nm base set, you've got the boost kit base set, you got the boost kit base set with the load cell, and then the Christmas pre-order rushed version. I would recommend probably the this one. I nearly gave you the finger. The second one, because you want the 8 Nm to bring it into the nice realm. Now, if you need a wheel upgrade as well, like me, well, then this pack is quite good value. And if you need pedals as well, you are laughing. If you've only got a Logitech G920, you are in the absolute best position here. Or if you only had a Thrustmaster TX T300, or the lower one, the not gear driven wheel, the competitor to Logitech. I think it's a Thrustmaster I don't know. If you're in that position, this is the absolute best position to be in, because you need a pedal upgrade, because your Logitech doesn't work with Fanatec gear. So you need the pedal upgrade. You're going to need the wheel that goes on, because your Logitech one can't come off, or if your Thrustmaster one, it can come off. Doesn't matter. It's not going to fit to the Fanatec unless you can get adapters, but then you start to get, I don't know, man. I'll just try and stick to one ecosystem if you can, because it's made to fit. You're not going to have any flex or anything, but that's completely up to you. But if you're one of these people that only has a Logitech G920, for example, perfect. You get 3 of these items. You need them anyway. I'd recommend getting the 8 Nm because you'll be fine forever, unless you want to go really high-end with SimuCube in the future, but the wheelbase itself is $2,000. The value here is unbelievable. And the load cell kit, if you're someone that's in this perfect position here where you needed all the upgrades anyway, for the extra $120, the kit is absolutely worth it, because the pedals will improve your lap time and your ability to not make mistakes and things in the game more than a wheel. So the pedals on your G920, if I'm talking to you, are the things that are holding you back more than the wheel is itself. But it's not what people normally think. They think the more detail on the wheel, the better. But it's actually the pedals, because the brake and the throttle is what's making you get around the track, the fastest or the slowest. So if you can get the load cell itself, the pressurized approach is really crucial to racing games, because humans are bad, especially under pressure. If you're trying to like make a last minute lunge or something on someone, and you're going off a distance memory of how far you can push the pedal, you're going to go and push way beyond, just out of franticness, beyond the threshold of the car, and you're going to pinch wheels and crash. Whereas if yours is pressure, it takes force, not this memory of how far you can push it, to be able to brake too hard. Well, then it's much easier to drive better. So hopefully this answered all your questions. I think it's a great product by Fanatec. They're really setting the bar. If you're not in the market right now for wheels and stuff, don't worry. All the other competitors within the next year really this is a thorn in their backside. They really got to put the work in now and try and compete with Fanatec, because they've changed the game with bringing direct drives not only to console, I mean, they did it with their Podium series, but at this price point as well. So I'm really excited about it. I will be getting it. It only really makes sense. Budget version upgrade. I can't be spending $1,000, $2,000 on these big wheelbases. Well, I could, but I'm not going to get it any this year, that's for sure. So hopefully I'm going to snag one tomorrow if I can get enough deposit to what they need. Keep in mind, if you miss Black Friday launch tomorrow, I think it's going to sell out pretty damn quick. Fanatec, man, changing the game. PlayStation 5 users as well. Last second, if you stuck around, appreciate you lots. If you're getting a PlayStation 5, man, this wheel is just a must get, really. It's a must get. Direct drive, works on PlayStation, getting Gran Turismo as well. And you can work on like PC with iRacing and everything. Then it's rad. Don't know if I mentioned it also, sorry for rambling, but Gran Turismo 7, boys. For anyone that doesn't know, rumor has it the Gran Turismo 7 will be on PC in the future. So if you're really not in the market yet to getting these things, you don't need a PlayStation 5 equivalent, but you really want to play Gran Turismo, just wait a year, and I bet you that title makes it to PC. So there we have it. I'll see you guys next time.